Hi guys, welcome back to Jamie's Camper. Now today I've been busy putting in two roof lights into the van. That was the van roof that you saw there. This is a Fiamma 400 by 400 roof light. I cut the cardboard box and made a template. So when I went up on the roof I cleaned it first using some alcohol, and then I used the template to draw around where I was going to start to cut. So to save scoring the paint on the roof, I obviously put down some blue masking tape. You should really clean the surfaces extremely well with the alcohol when you start. On the inside, I had this roof to deal with. I put the roof up before I did any cutting of holes, so there was a bit of an issue there. Didn't want to use a jigsaw blade that was going to like burst through and crack it. So what I did was I also had to move the light that you see dangling there. What I did was I measured the depth of between the roof and the inside roof, and luckily I found a jigsaw blade which was smaller than that gap, which worked out really well. So I drilled 4 pilot holes, one in each corner, and then I used, it's like a stepping drill, so there's different size. It's actually really handy to use that step drill bit. Different sizes so you don't burst all the way through. That's the jigsaw going into the holes, me starting to cut it out. Pretty straightforward, to be honest. A little bit nerve-wracking. I will say measure twice, cut once, because you don't want to make any mistakes. That's the inside of the roof, and that's where the light is, unfortunately right where I want to have the blind. So what I did was I used now that's the filings from the cuttings. Now hoover them up straight away as soon as you cut. Be as clean as you can. I hoovered them up with a handheld Dyson, but otherwise you get these little spots of rust appearing. Now that was from when I installed the side windows. Some little bits must have blown up onto the roof and stuck up there, and that's what happens. So be as clean as you can with the filings. I used the template on the inside so I could cut that with a knife, and I also drew round, you see the dotted red line. That's so I can put down some mastic tape, which I used to build up. If you see there's ribs on the top of the van roof, they're maybe 3 or 4 mils high. I used mastic tape to build up like an even layer. That's it from the inside. That's the old light connection there. That was just to show how much light was coming in. It's both. I've got 2 of them, one at the front, one at the back. Both of them letting in loads of light. That was with the door shut as well. Loads and loads of light coming in. Really happy with it. That's the wiring for the fan that's going to be in the roof light. This is the hole for the switch, and that wiring goes to that hole where the switch would be. So that's it from the top. That's it cut now. I just used a Stanley knife to cut through there. I was going to try and grind through it or use a saw, but it probably would have cracked the inside roof. That is a roller. Now when you put your first layer of tape down, you really need to roll it down as hard as you can. Make sure all the joints are really fully sealed. Roll it as hard as you can into position so it gets a nice bond with the surface of the roof of the van, because that's where water is going to come through. There it is there. What I did was, like I say, just kept building up the size of the tape. Put on, I think it was 5 or 6 layers all the way round, and it was probably 3/4 of an inch deep in the end. That's it finished there. That I had 19 meters on a roll of that tape. It was excellent because it was a lovely hot sunny day. The putty was really soft. It's basically mastic on a roll. It's like silicone on a roll. Really good to work with. Great stuff. There it is there. That's me just positioned it in place. Still got the cover on the top there. Now you can see basically the red line I drew earlier was the middle, or as close as I could get to the middle of that putty, so there was no gaps or anything like that. That's it getting screwed down. Once you start screwing it down, it basically beds itself down on that double side, that mastic tape. Really good. The next picture is, yeah, I just used my thumb on the edge of the mastic tape just to push it down to the van. So when I went around later with the silicone, it was just to give it a kind of a slightly better seal. I don't know if it made any difference. And I also kind of rounded off the front corners because I want obviously the water to run past that in a way. So this is doing the back, same again. Drilled the pilot hole, then used the stepping drill bit to drill down for the jigsaw. This is at the very back of the van. See the reverse camera in a second, maybe you won't. Yeah. Drilled out that, and then just same again, cut it out. You see the inside of the roof there, same again. I used the template, dropped it down in the inside of the roof, marked it, and then just used a very sharp Stanley blade to cut it. It didn't cut very cleanly, but there is a frame that goes on the inside, so you'll never see that. So that's it right through the bed, letting in loads of light. I can't. The back end of that van was quite dark without any windows, but just with that 400 by 400 skylight, the amount of light that's coming in is just fantastic. Right, that's all screwed down now. Excuse me. That's it all fastened down, almost watertight. Now that's what I had to deal with the difference between the height of the roof and the roof on the inside of the van. It was like 45 mils. This is now the cutting out hole for the solar powered shower vent extractor fan kind of thing. Same again, exactly the same principle. Obviously it's not square this time, it's round. What I did first was measure from the hole 2 inches out and draw a line, which I haven't shown. That's it on there, a little solar panel extracting air perfectly. A little tip for you: if you need a lot of silicone, normally with silicone guns you get a screw-on spout kind of thing, nozzle. Cut it as big as you want, so you get enough silicone to come out. That was me brushing down all the little bits of rubbish that was on top of the van before I siliconed. That's the inside of the solar vent there. Really happy with that. That's doing a great job. That's me siliconing it up. I used 3 full tubes of Seeker-Flex 221, I think it was. It's expensive, but it's expensive for a reason, because it doesn't fade under UV, doesn't perish. It's really, really good stuff. Try not to use your finger when you're siliconing, because it just makes a mess. If you use the end of the nozzle of the silicone gun correctly, it won't make so much of a mess, and it turns out nice. I had some left, so I did the back of the reversing camera and where it goes into the van. I had siliconed it before, but it was gone for some reason. This is me now wiring up the switch for the fan that I installed. So that little black dot is the like the thermostat. That's the switch I put on. That's the fan. The fan was actually extracting at that point, but the pictures captured it still for some reason because of that's the light now moved. I am going to have to get an extension kit for that frame and for the roof lights, so I can open them up. But other than that, everything's perfect. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.